In this video, we are going to find out to open the project file and localize a synthetic source and then visualize the time lapse of the created synthetic source. So for this, I will open the project file that I created in previous session. From project, then open, then project file. Here at Forward Tools option, we have this Find Synthetic Source. When you click on that, then Find Synthetic toolbox will be open. This is the place that you can add a new synthetic source or create the source that you want. For this case, I already created the source of my own choice. So it is a source that I want to visualize at 170 milliseconds. For this, whatever you want, as many as sources you want to visualize or create, you can select the sources. So I have already source at 170 milliseconds, and then there are some parameters that you need to assign and set it for the correspondent source. Then here, create synthetic data. After that, you need to reconstruct your activity for the source that you created. For this, you go to Inverse Tools. Then there are different methods for the reconstruction or inverse modeling. I prefer to have the first one, Ramus inversion. Since I already made up the parameters for this procedure, I will just run the reconstruction. This takes a while because I'm going to visualize the time lapse, and I define the time step 38. So it may take a time. The reconstruction is finished. Now I want to visualize my time lapse. To do this, there is mesh visualization box, then visualize surfaces. If I click on that, then I can visualize the time lapse of the sources that I created. You can also place the source, plot the synthetic source that you created. For this, you can choose whatever frame that you want, and then from the toolbox of find synthetic source, plot source, easily plot the source. So as you can see from this figure, I wanted to visualize the frame at 170 milliseconds, which I supposed to see the activity at the maximum peak. And when I plot the source, I can see this green synthetic source that I created. And it's supposed to be, the activity is supposed to be around that area or neighborhood. So the peak activity that I can visualize is in the red spot. Another visualization that you can see is you can also visualize the time series of the activity or the reconstruction of the synthetic source. So for this, you can also go to forward tools again, and the multi-tool, and then there is parcellation tool. So here there is time series. If you press time series, you can track the activity that you created. So I can visualize the reconstructed activity for the synthetic source that I created for 38 steps as I consider. Then time series plot, and if you want to visualize the time series plot in the other figures, in addition to the visualization figure of the reconstruction, you can easily go to the multi-tool and figure tool in order to open up the new figure tool. Then you plot. So here it is. You can also here in this figure visualize the time series of the synthetic source that you created. And as I expect to see at 170 milliseconds the maximum peak for the reconstructed activity of the synthetic source that I created.